Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Country with the weekly comic book roundup. We've covered this week's Marvel books, so now it's on to this week's DC books. Kicking things off, we've got Batman Urban Legends number 11. So I think this is actually the beginning of I think this issue actually kicks off a whole bunch of new stories. So yes, it does. We've got four. We have Bound to Our Will featuring Batman and Zatanna, Stigma featuring White Witch, Eternity in Gotham featuring Eternity, and Hounded featuring Ace the Bat Hound. Alright, so Bound to Our Will. It opens with a guy on the run through the alleys. He hides from the pursuers and is then grabbed by a woman who's not identified. At the Hall of Justice, Zatanna and Batman are about to leave to do a thing, and Superman pulls Batman aside and basically says, "Hey, look, I see you guys do that. For years I've been seeing you guys go off together. At the same time every year. First I didn't notice that, but when you come back, you can't even look at each other for like months." And we have a flashback to Bruce and Zatanna's youth. They did a ritual together. But something went wrong, and so apparently Bruce and Zatanna get together every year to try and fix it. And Zatanna's trying something new this time. And it's not entirely clear whether or not it worked, but the woman from, however, the woman from the beginning shows up. Then a handful of other DC magicians catch that something's wrong, namely Fate, Constantine, I think Wonder Woman, which is where the first part ends. Next up, we've got Stigma featuring White Witch. First off, White Witch was an assassin introduced in Catwoman recently. Basically a soldier of Simon Saint's. The outfit she wears, she and the others like her wear, I think they're all clones, is designed to mimic abilities such as invisibility and intangibility. But apparently, she goes on she's sent on various missions. Their time, she has some previous memories. Then after the first mission we see her go on, Simon Saint shoots her. She then wakes up, sent on another mission, and in the memories, this group of memories, she meets Ghostmaker and Bruce Wayne, and that's where Part 1 ends. Next up, we've got Eternity in Gotham Part 1. It seems to be focused on young man by the name of Eternity. Seems to be inhabiting the body of Christopher Freeman, coroner for the GCPD. There was some strangeness that occurred in New York, and so he figured maybe he'd go to Gotham for something a little simpler. But yeah. He runs into a couple of the young women living in the same apartment building as him. Hannah and Regina. Hannah saves him from stepping into an open elevator shaft, causing him to drop his groceries all over the floor. Regina helps him pick up said groceries. And then later that night, Hannah is killed, her body left in her bathtub, which is where part 1 ends. Which brings us to The Trap, featuring Ace the Bat, or Hounded, part 1, featuring Ace the Bat Hound. Batman is going after a trafficking ring in the Little Leningrad district of Gotham. He's got Ace with him. It also goes into how Batman came upon Ace after basically rescuing from the Joker. Ace had been raised as doing dog fights, but yeah, took a while, but Bruce kind of got him, was able to basically get him to be able to be a companion animal, not a fighting animal. But turns out that the customer at this human trafficking for the human trafficking ring is apparently Hugo Strange, who's wearing a suicide vest. Ace goes to save the hostages, but they're a trap. And it turns out that, and Professor Strange states that he did a lot of looking inside himself, and thinking about his legacy, figuring he'll be the man who killed Batman. But he did find something when he looked inside himself. Stage 4 cancer, which Strange states as he activates the vest. The fake hot prisoners take Ace, and well, the idea was to sell Batman's corpse, but he's still alive, so that'll make even more money. And a call is made to a vet. And Ace is brought to Gotham Pet Cemetery, where it's suggested that perhaps Ace's former owner would be interested. Once Ace has been probably broken in again, that is. And that is where the various stories end. Eternity in Gotham was interesting. As was Bound to Our Will. The flashback to Bruce's youth does point to him having an attraction to Zatanna, but yeah, all three stories should be interesting to see. Also, the idea that White Witch met both Ghostmaker and Batman during their training periods. That's fascinating. Anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Detective Comics number 1048, part 2 of Shadows of the Bat. Where we had left off, Arkham Tower had opened. Apparently, it does seem as though the story is not being told in a linear fashion, as it had jumped, as part 1 jumped ahead all the way to day, I believe, 24, where the building had been taken over. We start off years ago at Gotham Children's Services. Young boy named Tobias Ware has been brought there, and apparently his mother had attacked him. Tobias Ware would go on to become Dr. Tobias Ware, and in the present we see him conducting an interview with Kate Kane, masquerading as Dr. Lisa Frau. She's given a tour of the building, showing some of the most dangerous patients, which include Mr. Freeze. There's a young woman who claims to be Harley Quinn. And Anna Volshin, who Batwoman had recently apprehended in the last issue. But Ware talks about their treatments and what they're doing, and it's also mentioned that the other doctor, Dr. Ocean, is elsewhere. As Kate's leaving, Dr. Ware runs into Dr. Meridian, who has some concerns as well. Namely, noting the fact that Anna Volshin mentioned to her, as well as to Kate, that she smelled something. But Kate goes to report to Oracle and Nightwing, and does say, okay, so that's not Harley. But she states that she tells Nightwing asks if Kate saw her, and Kate simply says that she's there, she's a patient, but she didn't see her, and that she will look. At the flashback to Dr. Ware, he's being taken. Young Toby's being taken somewhere after his mother's been arrested, but he he was supposed to be taken to Wayne Home for Boys, but he left. Calls up a friend, apparently pocketed a credit card and ordered pizza. And it's made clear that Dr. Ware has little to no interest in actually. The idea is definitely given that Dr. Ware has no interest in helping the patients of Arkham Tower. Which brings us to our backstory. House of Gotham, Part 2. In Part 1, a young boy saw the Joker murder his parents, and then Batman came in, and the boy was taken, well, to Arkham. But Part 2 opens with Alfred bringing a wounded Batman home. And he states he has some... But the boy is meeting with Dr. Harleen Quinzel. But Bruce goes to... he's the facility the boy has been taken to is getting Arkham is getting one of his various donations from Bruce Wayne, and Dr. Arkham is showing Wayne around when the boy runs into Clayface, and Bruce has the opportunity to meet Dr. Harleen Quinzel for the first time. Bruce and the boy, or Clayface and the boy, are actually just playing. But the guards are rather want to make sure that Clayface isn't doing anything to the boy, but which does make Clayface mad, and he goes after the guards. And the boy is then taken to a home to an orphanage with Batman. He's being watched over by Batman, and that is where the issue ends. Shadows of the Bat is getting interesting. I'm curious to see who Nightwing was referring to when he asked if Kate saw her. My initial thought was Harley, but Kate saw not Harley, so I would say it's not Harley then. Huntress, maybe? Definitely a thought. I guess we'll find out as the story unfolds over the next few weeks. Moving on to our next book, though, we've got Batgirls, number 2. Where we left off, Cass and Stephanie had run into The Saints, a group of former magistrates believes who truly believed in Simon Saint's quote-unquote cause. The three of them being Tarsus, ringleader with a reputation for wicked cruelty, specializing in interrogation, which is a nice way of saying he enjoys torture. And there's Valentine, a Batman-like origin, parents slain during a home invasion in Gotham Heights. She sees militarized order as the key to the city's redemption. And finally, we've got Assisi, former Starlight. Background largely unknown. Record shows he was fired from Star Labs for violation of company policy. May or may not have stolen some cybernetics as well. But Batgirls fight the Saints, and they manage to at least escape. But the Saints know that they're out there, and they know the Saints, and the Batgirls know the Saints are out there. And it seems that the Saints are receiving instructions from Simon Saint. Only it's actually Seer using holotechnology to appear to be Simon Saint. The Batgirls do some recon, and they find some dock workers as well as some bikers and cops making a shrine of the gods of stolen goods, as they put it. They inform Babs about this, and Babs basically has come up with new comms for them, built into earrings. However, slight problem. Cass doesn't have pierced ears, so Stephanie pierces Cass's ears, and so now she has earring communicators. They're looking into the serial killer that's on the loose, and one of their neighbors asks them to be looking for a crock pot. Meanwhile, the tutor has gathered his followers for an impromptu art show. And he directs his followers to rise against those who would silence the people, against the politicians, the doctors, the cops, the bats. And apparently, he's gotten to Cass because as the crowd around, as the rest of the crowd starts chanting "Rise" repeatedly, Steph joins in, and that is where the issue ends. I'm enjoying this. This is a fun series. I like the concept of the Saints. I definitely do. They had some neat looks to them. Anyway, moving on to our next book, though, we've got I Am Batman, number 5. Where we left off, during a test of the Talos combat drone, Batman, Jace Fox, had been caught and was about to be killed by the armor. But Jace is being... The issue begins with Jace being stitched up, having a memory being stitched up. Talos' suit is about to kill Batman, but a wider demonstration is given. Batman's able to get away for a little bit, but yeah. Elsewhere, Jace's sister Tamara has come out of her coma, but her voluntary motor skills were impacted. Her ability to walk, grasp objects. Tamara's going to need intense long-term therapy, and more than that can be provided at Gotham General. The best suggested facility being Presbyterian Hospital in New York. But Batman, trying to get away from the Talos armors, there are three of them, thinks about how maybe he's going to feels he deserves to die. He's trying to push blame aside, but he runs into a street urchin whose friend he helped, and well, but the guys on the street make it go after the Talos suits, and the Talos suits return fire. But Batman deals with them, and during the fight, his faceplate is knocked off, and Lucius activates a system purge, leading to, and so the Talos suits are it's armor with people inside it, but Jace beats the hell out of all of them, and Jace and Lucius talk. Lucius now knows his son is the other Batman, and it's brought up that his mom is going to New York. A bunch of them are going to New York, and so Jace says maybe he will too. Because in Gotham, he'll always be the other Batman, not Batman. So, and Lucius is proud of his son. The issue ends with him standing on a gargoyle on a. I want to say one of the eagles from the Empire State Building, looking out over Gotham or over New York. Good issue. It'll be interesting to see the future issues with Jace being in New York as opposed to Gotham. Gotham does allow for having him in Gotham does allow for a few additional perks, such as having a having him there to basically kind of say it allows him to be more connected to the rest of the Bat family. But we'll see how things go there. Moving on to our next book, though, we've got Robin and Batman #3. Robin and Batman being a 3-part miniseries that tells a tale from Dick Grayson's early days as the Boy Wonder. Apparently, while tracking Killer Croc realized that he knew who Robin was, as they both were part of Haley's circus. Croc having been the fish boy. But Batman and Robin are looking for Croc in the sewers, and when Dick is reminded that it's Monday morning, he has to go to school. He says that finding Croc's more important, and Bruce initially agrees until Alfred points out that Bruce's parenting skills have been called into question. They do need to keep up the appearance of a normal family. And so Bruce agrees that yes, Dick should go to school. While at school, one of the students asks if Dick plays D&D. But later in the day, Croc shows up at the school, gets on the PA to call out Robin. Eventually, Robin does show, but as does Batman, and well, Batman's ribs still are healing. But Croc takes Batman prisoner, and Dick suits up, goes to the remains of Haley's circus, puts all the pieces together, goes to save Batman. Croc attacks, but Robin fights him off and manages to free Batman. two of them escape, and the issue ends. Well, the series ends with Robin having joined the other his classmates for D&D. Only they play at the manor now as opposed to in the library at school. But all in all, it's a good series. I like the little side story from Dick Grayson's first year as Robin, and I like the idea of him and Croc having a link origin wise. I think it's a nice touch. But anyway, moving on to our next book, we've got Future State Gotham #9. Where we left off, the next Joker had gotten loose and had killed Grifter, well-known mercenary operating out of Gotham of late. The issue begins with Peacekeeper 3 waking up Jason to say they've got a dead mask. Hunter Panic offers her services, and so, but the operator was of course the real problem. Hunter Panic hears the operator mention the next Joker and states that the punchline was right. A few issues back, in the middle of the whole Warlord arc, Harley and Punchline had a bit of a tussle and ran into Hunter Panic. Harley got away, but Panic managed to take in Punchline. During the whole thing, Punchline mentioned she was trying to get out of Gotham so she could try to avoid the next Joker. But turns out Nightwing is using a drug called Brain, which is like Venom but for your mind, trying to get any kind of edge he can on the Peacekeepers. And Talia comes across him basically having ruined a deal to grab a supply. She's not trying to intervene. She actually wants Dick to mainline Pure Brain so that she can hopefully locate her son. But Peacekeeper Red and Hunter Panic question Punchline about the next Joker. Apparently the next Joker wants to kill anyone involved with the old Joker, so... But seems it was a fanboy trying to... It sounds like it was a fanboy trying to replicate what happened to the Joker, but he didn't know exactly which chemicals the Joker fell into. Otherwise, his chemistry was impeccable. But Hush is dealing with the trio, or well, what's left of them, Tobias Whale and the Terrible Trio. We learned that apparently the GCPD, or the dog has to be GCPD because all cops are obsessed with that vigilante, Wild Dog. But Hush sets off an explosive hidden within Wild Dog's home, blowing him up. And then Hunter Panic and Peacekeeper Red goes to find Tobias Whale, but the next Joker's also found him and is attacking his chopper. However, when a Joker shows up, who's best suited to fight him? That's right, the next Batman. The issue wraps up with a reprinted story from Batman Black and White, The Spill. An EMP hits Gotham while Batman's pursuing the Joker. Batman crashes into a spillway. It's also pouring down rain. It was a plan of the Joker's, though. He intends to watch Batman drown. And ends up saving Batman's life. Some amusing little tale. Anyway, on to our next book for the week, our last book for the week, in fact. Legion of Superheroes versus Justice League versus Legion of Superheroes #1. Okay, so at the end of Legion of Superheroes, we were told there was a great darkness coming. This has been brought up in a few other titles of late as well. So, in the future, Gold Lantern is talking about is being questioned, but he's helping. He and the Legion are helping to bring in a Garfu from the asteroid belt of Orion 7. But there's a darkness tremor, and one of Triplicate Girl's part of Triplicate Girl disappears. But Brainiac and Gold Lantern let the United Planets Council know what's going on. Just kind of, hey, this is what's up. We're trying to do everything we can to stop it. In the present, the League is just taking down the Legion of Doom. There's another Darkness Tremor, and the missing triplicate of Triplicate Girl pops up. In the future, the two Triplicate Girls are afraid to merge, though one of them desperately wants to re-merge, when Superboy arrives. Basically, there's something he needs to show the Legion in the present. And so, the Legion of Superheroes meets the Justice League of America. And but they're talking as best they can about the coming darkness, and there's another darkness tremor, and Gold Lantern's the only one left in the Tower of Justice at that point, and that is where the issue ends. But it is hypothesized at one point that perhaps the darkness tremors are happening simultaneously at different points in time. It's one of those things I've heard about before in other time travel related stories, but yeah, I can't remember the idea. Kind of like which I don't know how to explain it. I don't have the science background on that one. But anyway, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying live long and rock hard.